Kane's return to young and restless has caused a seismic shift in many relationships in Genoa City, most dramatically creating an uneasy truce between Jack and Victor. As the two titans of industry team up to keep Kane from destroying everything they built, Diane worries that Jack is putting himself into a dangerous situation by trusting Victor. Because, as portrayer Susan Walters notes to Soap Opera Digest, she knows the mustache better than some. Diane was married to Victor, Walters reminds, so I always try to add that in my point of view about Victor, because he's the guy in town that everybody's very scared of, and he's extremely powerful. Jack and he get the better of each other. Most of the time, Victor ends up seemingly victorious. So on the one hand, she doesn't want mistakes professionally, but she also doesn't want Jack to go through that again. You know, when you see your spouse just so bent by somebody who pushes all their buttons. But while Diane is keenly aware of how dangerous Victor can be in business, she refuses to be scared of him as a person. Having dealt with him as his spouse in the past, she knows him in a different way than Jack does, the actress says. So as Diane, I'm not going to be as frightened of Victor on a personal level as Jack and Diane would be on a professional level. That perspective on Victor also means that if Diane feels that Jack has gotten in over his head with Victor and Kane, she'll have no qualms about stepping in if she thinks her husband needs some backup. Oh, absolutely, Walters declares. First of all, I think Jack's completely competent to do it, but I think there's another level where Diane has... It's hard, you know, like woman to man is a little different than guy to guy. And allowing that Diane going up against Victor herself would be a very different situation. Walters adds that her alter ego would have no trouble going full mama bear if necessary. As a mom, she's very protective now, making up for lost time with her son, Walters muses. So I think that she would want Victor to not succeed, and then to also pay for even trying. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless scoop for Tuesday, October 7th, reveals Sharon Newman will be mortified by what she finds out. Also coming up, Nikki Newman will meet with Jill Abbott. Plus, Phyllis Summers will face off with Victor Newman and Nick Newman, and Tessa Porter and Daniel Romalotti will return from their trip. Y&R spoilers tease Victor will ask Phyllis to join him for breakfast. He'll say he hears she and Kane Ashby are joined at the hip. Why would you agree to connive with the lowest of the low? Phyllis will say Kane offered her a job, and in turn, she's giving him her expertise and loyalty. She'll insinuate Victor invited her to sit with him to get information out of her. You're screwing with my head, but I'm not going to let you. That's not going to happen, she'll add. Kane and I are strong and we're going right to the top. Phyllis will say no one respects her in this town. You should know I'm in the game now, remember that. Victor will comment that she and Kane are the perfect fit. You deserve each other. Then he'll leave and run into Nick. Victor will tell his son not to leave town just yet. Nick will walk into society and he'll sit with Phyllis. He'll say he wishes she'd stop taking pleasure in the havoc Kane is creating. Phyllis will say she doesn't understand Victor getting upset by what someone's going to do to him that he's done to countless others. At Newman Ranch, Jill will arrive, and Nikki will say there's something she wanted to get off her chest. I just want to say thank you for Chancellor, she'll tell Jill. It means everything to me. Jill will say she thinks Catherine Chancellor would have wanted this. Do you regret selling the company? Nikki will ask. Jill will say she regrets ruining her relationship with her son. I make my son feel exactly the way Catherine made me feel, not good enough, not worthy. Nikki will approach Jill. She loved you very much, she'll say. Then Jill will thank Nikki for sending her a note after Chancellor died. Jill will say she should probably go, but Nikki will want to talk to her about Kane and what she plans to do about him. However, Jill will say Kane's a good man. It's not just Jack and Victor who are worried about what Kane has in store. It's the entire town, Nikki will reply. You have to stop him. Whether you like it or not, you may be our last hope. Victor will arrive, and Nikki will tell him Jill's ready to give Kane the benefit of the doubt. But Victor will be certain he's going to change her mind. Meanwhile, Esther Valentine will tell Sharon she's so happy she and Nick are going to London to see their son. "Do not worry, because I have everything at Crimson Lights under control," she'll add. Then Esther will head into the back, and Tessa and Daniel will walk in. So, Sharon will ask if they found out anything about Mariah Copeland. "We did," Tessa will say. "You're not going to like what we have to tell you." Then she'll say she and Daniel went to the hotel where Mariah stayed. At the hotel bar, they spoke with the same bartender who was there the night Mariah got drunk. Daniel will say when Mariah was at the bar, she was approached by a man, and they hit it off. They were getting intimate, they left the bar together, he'll add. Sharon will say she was afraid it was something like that. Tessa will tell her she knows she's thinking they slept together. But it's so much worse than that. Tessa will say they got a name from the bartender, Will Hensley, who checked out in the middle of the night. He seemed scared, shaken, Daniel will add. Then Tessa will tell Sharon her daughter confessed to almost killing someone, so she thinks it must have been Will Hensley. Sharon will say perhaps the man was trying to take advantage of Mariah, and she fought him off. This man, Will Hensley, he's around Ian's age, similar height and build. Tessa will tell her, and Sharon's face will drop. Finally, Daniel will say he has a theory. The guy Mariah tried to kill likely knows her name, where she works, and that she's from Genoa City. I hope I'm way off base here, but do you think there's a chance this guy could be looking for some kind of retribution? Daniel will ask Tessa and Sharon. Is it possible Mariah's in danger? Keep reading the Soap Scoop for Young and the Restless spoilers and news. And make sure to also join our YNR Facebook group or leave us a reply in our comments section. But if you miss an episode, don't fret. You can watch The Young and the Restless online at cbs.com. The corporate wars are heating up on The Young and the Restless thanks to Kane Ashby and his rumored artificial intelligence software. Victor and Jack may be creating an alliance to bring down Kane, but Jack's not sure he can trust Victor. Fortunately, Jack's got a secret weapon in his wife Diane. Victor Newman has a loyal ally in his wife Nikki as he tries to stay 2 steps ahead of Kane Ashby. He's not the only one. Jack Abbott's got a very supportive wife in Diane. Just as Nikki was once wed to Jack, Diane was also Victor's wife. That could give her insights into the mustached mogul that may give Jack the edge he needs to stay on top. Diane was married to Victor. Walters shared with Soap Opera Digest, so I always try to add that in my point of view about Victor. Diane knows that Victor's the man everyone in Genoa City is afraid of crossing, given his power. Victor is also ruthless. Diane found that out the hard way when she agreed to divorce Victor so that he could marry a dying Nikki back in 1988. The plan was for Victor to legally split from Diane, marry Nikki on her deathbed, and then, after Nikki died, a free Victor would have remarried Diane. Fortunately, Nikki lived, and she and Victor renewed their love. Well, it didn't turn out well for Diane, initially, as she felt Victor had reneged on his promise to her. Walters has observed that it may appear that Victor often has the upper hand in his dealings with Jack. Diane does not want Jack to take another loss, especially from someone who has the capacity to push Jack's buttons, as Victor seems to be able to do. Given Diane's past with Victor, she's seen him at his best and his worst. Don't be surprised if Diane refuses to back down in her dealings with her former spouse. Diane can be of value to Jack because she knows Victor in a different way than Jack does. Walters believes that Jack is more than capable of going up against Victor. However, she can bring a woman's touch to any upcoming situations that may give the Abbotts the edge in the ongoing business wars in Genoa City. On The Young and the Restless, Kyle has completely worn out his welcome with Claire. Following her to LA was his latest mistake, and we fear he's not done making them. Kyle doesn't have the best track record with women, and any new viewers of YNR will quickly be able to figure out why. Kyle and Audra had the most disgusting yelling match in recent history, and Claire's wanting space to find herself set him off again. Now, while it could be argued that letting Claire go off and find herself is just letting Claire go and find herself with Holden, it is a bit beside the point. Kyle, she wants to be away from you and all you have done, and figure out what she wants to do with her life. Instead of giving her the space to do so and reconciling with yourself about what you have done, Kyle thinks stalking her in LA is the best idea. What's the plan, Kyle? Shouted out with Holden too? Fans and viewers have also taken to the Soap Central message boards to voice their displeasure with the direction Kyle is taking. Here's what they have to say. Regular contributor Sweet PD7 wrote, "What is wrong with Kyle? Does he really hope going to LA will make Claire want to be with him? He was so nasty to her and didn't listen as she tried to explain her need to find herself. What is he going to do? Convince Claire to let him take her around LA instead of Holden? I can only see this going sideways. Kyle will lose his temper and say who knows what to Claire and Holden. If Kyle had any sense, he'd wait in GC and talk to Claire after she had calmed down from their last encounter. Instead, he is going to make Claire angrier, and he is going to completely torpedo any chances for mending his relationship with Claire down the road." Zorgonian said it best with, "Why? Just why?" First, he proposes marriage. Strike one. Then he wants to whisk her off to France. Scene of the towel makeout session. Strike two. Follow her to LA? That's three. You're out, Kyle. Valued contributor Clover. Leaf agreed. I know. It totally baffles the mind. And if I have to hear Kyle say he's going to do whatever it takes one more time, I may have to get out the TV brick. What I would like to see is a very dramatic scene between Claire and Kyle. I want to see her accuse him of stalking her when she asked for space. Then I want her to tell him he doesn't love her, he just wants to control her. Then Claire finally declares her freedom from the likes of Kyle Abbott. He is left standing there as Holden takes Claire away. I want this! Make it happen! It's clear that the fans are united in their thoughts. And Kyle, please just stay home. Are there any out there that side with Kyle on this? Leave your thoughts or comments below, or on the message board thread. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that Kane Ashby may dangle the idea of regaining power of Chancellor Industries to lure Jill Abbott back to side with him. Y&R fans may recall that Jill sold Victor Newman Chancellor a while back, as there was worry that Billy Abbott would run Catherine Chancellor's legacy into the ground. At that point in time, Jill was too sick to head the Chancellor ship herself, so she had peace of mind knowing that Catherine would approve of Nikki Newman leading the company. During the Tuesday, October 7th episode, Jill visited Nikki. And while the two started off on a good note, things went south fast when Nikki urged Jill to join forces to stop Kane from the diabolical plan he has in store for all the major corporations in Genoa City. There's fear that Kane will unleash an AI program to take over all the conglomerates and bring the powerhouse families in the little town to their knees. Jill fluffed off Nikki's claims that Kane was ruthless and would stoop so low. However, near the end of the show, Victor arrived ready to shock Jill with some news about her precious pseudo-son, Kane. Y&R spoilers imply that by the end of this week, both Jill and Lily Winters will be outraged and confront Kane, so whatever Victor says to Jill will get through to her. With that said, what Victor doesn't realize is that Kane has a way of talking Jill down from any stance. Kane did so last week, when she came to visit him, before her own son Billy, and he may do so again. Kane may reason that he's not gunning for every company in Genoa City, just one, Chancellor Industries. While Catherine was close to Nikki, she was also like Jill and simply adored Kane, no matter what stunt he pulled. Kane may tell Jill his motives are to bring Chancellor Industries back to the family fold. After all, Jill still considers him a son, and Catherine thought of him as family too. While Jill may not have trusted Billy to keep the company thriving, Kane has more than proven himself over the past 6 years. He could certainly ensure the company stays on track and potentially elevate it to levels no one has ever seen. Could Kane convince Jill to pretend to align with the Newmans and the Abbotts, only to act as a mole in this scheme to bring him down? He may also dangle the idea of Jill having a say in how Chancellor is run moving forward, something she gave up when she sold the organization to Victor and Nikki. The Young and the Restless spoilers suggest both Chancellor and Kane are soft spots in Jill's heart. So knowing that she would still have a hand in the daily dealings of the business could entice her to hop back onto #Team Kane train, at least for the time being. The Young and the Restless spoilers note that Daniel Romalotti had an interesting theory during the October 7 episode, where he believed that the man Mariah Copeland attacked during her business trip could seek revenge. Tessa Porter provided Sharon Newman with an update during Tuesday's show, filling the mom in on what she and Daniel learned when they investigated Mariah's business trip. The information not only left Sharon horrified, but also very unsettled. Tessa visited the hotel Mariah stayed at while she was away, asking the staff if they remembered Mariah. Tessa had a photo of Mariah that she was showing people, and the bartender filled her in on the drinking, canoodling, and carry-on that took place between her wife and an older gentleman named Will Hensley. The two headed upstairs to someone's hotel room, and as fans know, Mariah attempted to kill him. It's still uncertain as to whether or not Mariah was intimate with Will. The silver lining in this all was that Mariah didn't take Will's life, even though she did try to suffocate him. However, staff at the hotel did note that Will didn't wait until the morning to check out. He ran out of the establishment, clearing his tab quickly, as the man was very shaken. Sharon was utterly stunned by the information and tried to defend Mariah, but Tessa was pretty adamant about her wife's behavior, considering the information she gathered. Daniel then made an eerie prediction. He noted that, as Will was still alive, he might be seeking some retribution on Mariah for that night. In fact, Daniel believes that Mariah could be in danger. Was this a theory, or the CBS soap's way of foreshadowing a storyline on the horizon? Mariah took off for out-of-town therapy, but has she placed herself in a dire situation, being so far away from home? Then again, without knowing Will and his intentions, or the type of person he is, could he attack Tessa instead? Could he target the lady's young daughter, Aria Porter Copeland? The Young and the Restless spoilers suggest that there's more drama up ahead where this story is concerned, so fans will need to stay tuned to the CBS soap to see what happens next. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates reveal that Kyle Abbott may stumble upon Claire Newman and Holden Novak sharing a bed. Is it possible that Kyle's LA endeavor will end in tragedy and heartbreak? After Audra Charles gets under Kyle's skin about Claire's time in Los Angeles with Holden, he will have to make a pivotal choice. Kyle is unwilling to just sit back while Holden works on convincing Claire to be with him instead. It seems Kyle hasn't learned from all those moments when he pressured Claire, which ended in spectacular failure. You would think Kyle would realize that this tactic is ineffective by now, but he keeps making poor choices regarding Claire. Although Jack Abbott and Diane Jenkins Abbott may try to intervene, Y&R spoilers reveal that Kyle's decision will be final. The plan is to fly to LA and do everything possible to win Claire back, but Kyle might face a harsh reality. Claire is now single after officially ending her relationship with Kyle, giving her the freedom to pursue whatever she desires with Holden. This could include getting intimate if she decides to. Naturally, Claire's last argument with Kyle has stirred her emotions, potentially making her even more resolute in carving out her own journey. All of Kyle's cautions regarding Holden might push Claire to prove a point, leading her to escalate things with Holden swiftly. It's not hard to picture Kyle discovering Claire's hotel and room number once he arrives in Los Angeles, but he won't like to see what he might walk in on. He might knock on Claire's door only to find her in revealing attire with Holden, clearly indicating that they've been intimate. Holden could open the door without a shirt, mistaking it for room service, while Claire lounges nearby in lingerie or something similar. On the other hand, Kyle might successfully obtain a keycard, intending to surprise Claire with a romantic gesture in her room. However, he could be the one caught off guard if Claire's with Holden. In any case, the Young and the Restless spoilers suggest that Kyle's visit could bring some shocking news, so stay tuned for all the latest drama. The Young and the Restless spoilers are in for Tuesday, October 7th, 2025. In the next episode, fans can expect Nikki Newman to face off with Jill Abbott. Jack Abbott pushes Kane Ashby to do the right thing. Plus, Tessa Porter worries about Mariah Copeland's safety. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Let's start off with Nikki, who faces off with Jill. When the Abbott matriarch goes to the Newman ranch, Nikki says that she has something she needs to get off her chest. The blonde then adds that it's a long time coming. While Nikki could unleash her fury, I wonder if they will find common ground. After all, Jill is distraught enough over Kane and Billy Abbott. With Kane coming after the Newman empire, everyone needs to band together. For some reason, Women are a lot better at doing that than men. Eventually, Victor Newman will meet with Jill as well. They could strike up an alliance. However, with Victor not wanting the best for Billy, I wonder if they can find a way to get along. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Tessa and Daniel Romalotti Jr. will return from the trip to Boston. The two went to Mariah's old hotel room to find clues on what really went down there. By this time, wouldn't the housekeeping staff have already turned it over? Maybe they will get lucky and find something that the cleaning crew missed. In a preview clip, Sharon Newman asks them if they found anything out about Mariah's incident. With a concerned look, Tessa says they did. Fans will also see Nick Newman confront Phyllis Summers. However, will Nick get any clues, or will Red continue playing games? Plus, Jack will continue trying to do what he can to stop Kane's plan. The patriarch will once again try to get Kane to do the right thing before it all blows up in his face. However, Kane seems pretty overconfident about his plan. Is his plan really unbeatable, or could this all be a cover? There has to be some way to protect all the companies in Genoa City from Kane's AI plan, so stay tuned. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most on Tuesday, October 7th, 2025? Young and the Restless, 2-week spoilers for Oct 6, 17/2025 are on fire as Victor Newman attacks and Jill Abbott is ranting. Monday, October 6th. Diane Jenkins and Jack Abbott discuss their distrust of Victor, with Diane worried their alliance will backfire. Jack, however, believes Jill won't let Damian Kane destroy Chancellor or Jabot and is confident he can handle Victor. Kyle Abbott tells Audra Charles to leave Genoa City, as everyone hates her. She laughs, mentioning Holden Novak is romancing Claire Grace Newman in LA. Audra Charles also reveals she knows Kyle didn't tell Claire Grace Newman they almost slept together in France, taunting him about wanting her back. Diane worries about Kyle's depression, noting he missed a meeting. But Jack insists Kyle must face the consequences of his actions and warns against coddling him. So, Kyle announces he's going to LA to get Claire Grace Newman back, a decision deemed a worst idea ever due to his tendency to not listen. Audra Charles goes to Crimson Lights, and Sharon Newman inquires if Nate Hastings will join her. Audra Charles states she's flying solo, omitting that she was dumped. Sharon Newman shares she's also flying solo, heading to LA to see Noah Newman, who is opening a club there, and is happy with Ali Nguyen. Sharon Newman is flying separately from Nick Newman, but they are not broken up. Victor informs Nick Newman they are preparing to go after Damian Kane, but Victoria Newman believes using Newman Media is unwise. Victor tells Nick Newman he cannot leave Genoa City for LA until Adam Newman returns. Adam Newman and Chelsea Lawson. Newman are in France investigating the Chateau inheritance and Colin's scheme. So, Victor wants Nick Newman and Adam Newman to coordinate with IT to prepare for Damian Kane's potential AI retaliation. Nick Newman has to inform Sharon Newman he'll meet her in LA later due to dealing with the Victor-Damian Kane situation. Sharon Newman worries Nick Newman won't make it, but he promises to show up for her and Noah Newman. Tuesday, October 7th. Jill and Nikki Newman rehash their past. Nikki Newman tells Jill she's glad they have time alone, as she needs to get something off her chest, possibly concerning Catherine. Sharon Newman discusses an off-screen investigative trip with Tessa Porter and Daniel Romalotti. Asking if they learned anything about Mariah Copeland, Tessa Porter confirms they did, but appears unhappy, fearing for Mariah Copeland's safety, possibly due to retaliation from someone Mariah Copeland attacked or the risk of Mariah being arrested for attempted murder. This could explain Mariah Copeland's desire to protect Tessa Porter and Aria Porter Copeland. Tessa Porter and Mariah Copeland's marriage will be tested in the coming weeks. Nick Newman corners Phyllis Summers before leaving town, questioning her involvement with Damian Kane. Phyllis Summers needs a job and wants someone to listen to her, plus she has a low-key crush on Damian Kane. With Lily Winters done with him, Phyllis Summers might be hoping for a chance. Wednesday, October 8th. Young and the Restless spoilers reveal Jill meets with Jack at Jabot, appearing unhappy. Billy Abbott and Damian Kane are likely topics of discussion. Jill also meets with Victor, who drops a bombshell. Colin, her ex-husband, swindled an old lady out of her chateau and money, which provided Damian Kane with the seed money for Arabesque. This information is about to go public, and Jill won't be able to stop Victor. Lily Winters and their children will be horrified. Nikki Newman searches for answers, possibly investigating what Lauren Fenmore asked her to find about Victor, Michael Baldwin, and Damian Kane. Jack urges Damian Kane to do the right thing and abandon his plan to take over businesses on Young and the Restless. Thursday, October 9th, Jack takes steps to protect the Abbott family and their business, as Damian Kane refuses to stop his plans. Jack needs to protect Jebo and Marchetti from Damian Kane, and everyone will likely take measures to shield themselves from the AI attack. Nick Newman goes rogue. This could involve him joining Sharon Newman in LA or dealing with the Damian Kane-Newman conflict before even boarding his flight. Jill and Lily Winters confront Damian Kane, and it's revealed the Newman media expose about Collins Con and how it funded Damian Kane's empire is public, humiliating the family again. Friday, October 10th, Adam Newman and Chelsea Lawson. Newman are rewarded by Victor for their loyalty, likely for investigating the chateau and trashing Damian Kane on Newman Media. They already have top jobs and a mansion, so the reward might be something more. Damian Kane, enraged, confronts Chelsea Lawson Newman and Adam Newman at Newman Media about the truthful smear article on Collins' inheritance scam. Damian Kane may launch an AI attack on Newman Media for trashing his father. Michael Baldwin and Christine Williams discuss Lauren Fenmore's upset over Michael Baldwin helping Victor and their upcoming wedding. Several returning characters will appear for the ceremony. Christine Williams and Danny Romalotti's bachelor and bachelorette parties take an unexpected turn on the same day Phyllis Summers finds herself in a prickly situation, possibly related to Damian Kane's AI attack plan or an accidental disruption of Christine Williams's bachelorette party. Phyllis Summers may find unexpected romance with Damian Kane. The week of October 13th-17th, Damian Kane is cornered by Victor and his allies, leading him to lash out. Kyle continues to make mistakes regarding Claire Grace Newman, and Audra Charles is at a low point. Their interactions may spark unintended consequences. Diane is still suspicious of Victor and doesn't want Jack getting close to him. Billy Abbott is focused on targeting Damian Kane due to ongoing family drama, while Jill tries to calm Damian Kane and bring Billy Abbott back. Adam Newman is happy to fight Damian Kane for Victor, seeing it as a win-win. Christine Williams and Danny Romalotti's wedding is set for November sweeps, kicking off at the end of October. Patty Weaver returns as Gina Roma and Trisha Cast returns as Nina Webster for the wedding. The young and the restless couple, Adam and Chelsea, aka Shaddam, are happier than ever. Between work and home, everything's going smoothly. However, Melissa Claire Egan hints that drama is on the way. Key takeaways. Adam and Chelsea's latest reunion has them mixing business and pleasure. Victor, who is Shaddam's biggest supporter, offered Chelsea a job at Newman Media, which she accepted. Although Chelsea enjoys working with Adam, the couple have been clashing lately. Adam and Victor are still feuding with Billy, and they're using Newman Media to knock him down a peg. While Chelsea is usually supportive of Adam, she disagrees with him and Victor attacking Billy. It's no surprise that Chelsea is defending her ex, but her support might lead to trouble. Egan tells Woman's World that Chelsea is in a tough predicament playing peacemaker for all sides. The actress explained how Billy was there for her during the darkest point in her life, something Chelsea's grateful for. You have to remember that Billy literally saved her life on that roof, and then she cheated on him, Egan revealed. She wants to support Adam, but she has a lot of guilt about her man going after her ex who saved her life. It's tricky. While Chelsea wants this war with Billy to end, it's difficult with Victor pulling the strings. Egan says Adam acting like Victor's minion is an issue for Chelsea. There's a struggle with him obeying Victor, and she feels like maybe he's not listening to her. When Adam and Chelsea reunited, their exes Billy and Sally became a couple. However, recent events seem to hint that a couple's swap could be happening between Chatham and Silly. Billy's reckless behavior and his desire to regain control of Chancellor will be the breaking point for Sally. She sacrificed everything to follow Billy's dream of starting Abbott Communications. Now, he's throwing all that away because of his obsession with Chancellor. Meanwhile, Adam and Chelsea will continue to argue about Billy. Since Adam isn't slowing down his attack on Billy, Chelsea might end up walking out on Adam. With Billy and Chelsea single again, the two could reignite their relationship. Billy needs all the support he can get, something Chelsea, not Sally, is willing to give him. Chili's reunion will lead to heartbreak, but a possible reconciliation for Sally and Adam. A heavy cloud of uncertainty hangs over Genoa City, and at its center is Mariah Copeland. Fans of The Young and the Restless are gripped by a storyline so dark and emotionally taxing that it has spilled beyond the screen, merging with heartbreaking real-life rumors. The question on everyone's mind is the same. Is this the end of Mariah's story? On screen, Mariah is living a nightmare. Her current arc revolves around a desperate act of self-defense, in which she killed a man who was attempting to assault her. While the law might see it as justifiable, Mariah's conscience has branded her a murderer. The once resilient and fiery woman has unraveled into a paranoid and guilt-ridden soul, haunted by the memory of her actions. The writers have masterfully depicted her psychological descent, showing her marriage, career, and sanity crumbling under the immense weight of her secret. Her confession to her wife, Tessa, was a raw, powerful moment that has set the stage for an inevitable reckoning as Genoa City's authorities begin to close in. However, the gravity of this storyline is magnified by quiet, unconfirmed reports circulating behind the scenes. Whispers suggest that actress Cameron Grimes, who has brilliantly portrayed Mariah since 2014, and her beloved twin Cassie Newman before that, is facing a serious private health battle. According to these unverified accounts, Grimes has been diagnosed with cancer and may be stepping away from the show for an extended period, possibly up to a year, to focus on treatment. Neither CBS nor Grimes has commented on these rumors, but the narrative direction has fueled fan speculation. Mariah's storyline, with its themes of guilt, withdrawal, and a potential looming disappearance, feels tragically reflective of a real-world fight. It appears Y&R may be crafting a poignant temporary exit that allows the actress the privacy and time she needs to heal. This sensitive approach, where fiction provides cover for reality, is something daytime dramas have done before, but rarely with a character so deeply woven into the show's fabric. Fans have watched Cameron Grimes grow up, from the tragic death of Cassie to the complex and triumphant return of her long-lost twin, Mariah. Her groundbreaking romance and marriage to Tessa marked a milestone in daytime history. The possibility of losing her, even temporarily, has united the fandom in an outpouring of compassion. Social media is flooded not with plot debates, but with messages of love and support for Grimes. The consensus is clear. Mariah Copeland is too vital to the Newman legacy to be killed off. Insiders speculate her exit will be an open-ended one, perhaps a prison sentence for a lesser charge or a self-imposed exile, leaving the door open for a triumphant return. Until then, the story serves as a powerful metaphor for a different kind of fight. Whether on-screen or off, the battle is one of survival. The audience understands that stepping away to heal is the ultimate act of strength, and they are prepared to wait. Suspicion has given way to sheer terror in the Abbott mansion. What began as Jack Abbott and Diane Jenkins's shared unease about Kyle's whirlwind romance with Claire Grace has spiraled into a nightmare. Driven by a mother's intuition that she could no longer ignore, Diane took a desperate gamble that has unearthed a truth far more horrifying than she could have ever imagined. Her illegal entry into Claire's home didn't just confirm that the woman was a liar. It revealed a meticulously crafted web of deadly deceit with roots in Genoa City's darkest history. The first domino to fall was a forged DNA report, tucked away like a ticking time bomb. The documents definitively proved that Claire Grace is not, and has never been, Victoria Newman's biological daughter. The entire relationship, built on a foundation of supposed tragedy and miraculous reunion, was an elaborate charade. Kyle, blinded by love, has been nothing but a pawn in a sinister game, giving a dangerous imposter a direct line into the Abbott and Newman dynasties. But the true horror lies in Claire's real lineage. She is the daughter of the infamous Jordan, the sadistic tormentor whose reign of terror left deep scars on the Newman family. This revelation recontextualizes everything. Claire isn't just an opportunist, she is the heir to a legacy of vengeance. Her polished charm and innocent facade are weapons honed by a master of manipulation. She didn't just find her way into Genoa City, she was deployed. Diane's search yielded a discovery that chilled her to the bone, an assassin's toolkit. Hidden within Claire's seemingly perfect home were poisons, firearms, and detailed dossiers on her targets, including Jack, Victoria, and Sharon. This was not the work of a simple con artist. This was the arsenal of a trained operative, conditioned to kill. To make matters more monstrous, evidence suggests Claire is even more ruthless than her mother. She allowed Jordan to die, choosing self-preservation and the opportunity to reinvent herself over loyalty, coolly stepping into the role of an orphaned victim to execute a long-term plan. Now, Jack and Diane are trapped in an impossible position. They possess a truth that could not only save their son, but also protect both their families from annihilation. However, exposing Claire is a move fraught with peril. She is not a woman who will be cornered easily. She is a predator who has anticipated discovery. Their next move is critical, as a direct confrontation could trigger her deadly endgame. The fragile truce between the Abbotts and the Newmans is set to shatter, and Kyle will be forced to confront the fact that the woman he loves is a monster. Claire Grace is not just an imposter, she's Jordan's revenge, and the battle for Genoa City's soul has just begun. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that Summer Newman's engagement news could leak to Genoa City and become Kyle Abbott's wake-up call about his true love. Summer hit it off with a handsome designer in Italy, so their romance is presumably still going well. The same can't be said for Kyle and Claire Newman now that they've broken up. The split was Claire's choice since she claims she wants a chance to explore life on her own and figure things out for herself. This is about Claire's need to grow as an individual before she dives into a serious commitment. However, there's no denying that Claire feels a spark with Holden Novak, one that she's free to enjoy now that she's single. Based on Kyle's reaction to Claire's LA trip in the September 30th episode, he obviously suspects Claire's decision to dump him had more to do with Holden than she's letting on. Kyle previously built Claire up to be his true love, but he may start to realize he was mistaken about that. Now that Claire's so eager to potentially fall for someone else, Kyle may reflect on their relationship and wonder if he had it all wrong. Many Y&R fans have complained about Kyle being so quick to downplay his Summer connection. Perhaps what Kyle needs is a wake-up call about Summer, and the possibility that his real soulmate is slipping away. Kyle and Summer have hurt each other a lot over the years, but they always seem to reunite sooner or later. Summer and Kyle's love story may not be over yet if the show recasts Summer or gets Allison Lanier to reprise the role. If Summer's romance in Milan keeps moving right along, then some engagement updates may leak to GC. Kyle might have an epiphany about Summer being his true love instead of Claire and wish he'd never let his ex-wife go. It'd at least make an interesting story arc if Kyle raced to Italy and tried to win Summer back. Kyle might plan a proposal of his own and plead with Summer to remarry him instead. Even if Summer turned Kyle down, the show could get some great scenes out of it and sink Kyle even further into his lonely pit of despair. Of course, if Summer ever makes a long-term return, then maybe she could have a real future with Kyle in the end. The Young and the Restless spoilers say there's much more emotional turmoil to come for Kyle, so stay tuned. Young and restless Kyle is nothing if not determined when it comes to Claire, and he's about to make a shocking move that will either upend their romantic apple cart completely or smooth the path for the reconciliation he so desperately desires. Having learned absolutely nothing from his ill-timed marriage proposal or failed attempt at sweeping Claire off to Paris, Kyle announced to his stunned parents that he'd decided that it was the perfect time to become, well, a stalker, refusing to give Claire the space she's requested to find herself, and correctly guessing that she's attracted to her tour guide, Holden. Kyle's latest lightbulb moment led him to the conclusion that he should follow her to Los Angeles and impose his will on her yet again under the guise of fighting to win her back. Forgive us for stating the obvious, but it's a downright shocking move. If for no other reason, then it's so utterly dense. Indeed, we're guessing the new Claire isn't going to view the interruption as a grand romantic gesture, but rather a clear sign that she made the correct choice in giving the 5-stage clinger the brush-off back in Genoa City. Kyle's shocking overstep could cost him the relationship for good. On the other hand, Kyle spent a good amount of time making a case for Holden being bad news, even going so far as to call his own girlfriend naive. If the abbot's hunch about Novak proves to be correct, this trip to LA could be a setup for him to hunt down Claire at just the right moment to rush in and rescue her from the trouble we already know to be brewing down there. Potentially, this could be a huge romantic reunion moment for the two, but we're not gonna lie, we kinda hope that isn't the case. While it may present a swoony scenario for fans of the pairing, we've been enjoying the independent version of Claire, who absolutely deserves to experience an adventure courtesy of hunky Holden before settling down.